Far beyond the busy cities, beyond the highways filled with rushing cars and bright lights, there was a peaceful, snowy village hidden among gentle hills and ancient pine forests. Every winter, fresh snow covered the rooftops, pathways, and trees, turning the village into a quiet wonderland. The world seemed softer there, quieter there, as though winter itself had wrapped everything in a blanket of calm. On this particular evening, snowflakes drifted slowly from a star-filled sky, floating gently through the cold air, before settling upon the ground. The village rested peacefully beneath the moonlight, while warm golden lights glowed from cottage windows, and thin streams of smoke rose lazily from stone chimneys. As you walked along the snow-covered road leading into the village, your footsteps made soft crunching sounds beneath your boots. The sound was comforting and rhythmic. There was nowhere you needed to be and nothing you needed to do. Tonight was simply about slowing down and enjoying the journey. The road curved gently between tall pine trees whose branches sparkled beneath the moonlight. Fresh snow rested upon every branch, creating a magical scene that seemed almost unreal. The forest was completely still, as though it had fallen into a deep and peaceful sleep. Soon the village appeared ahead like a dream. Small cottages sat quietly beside winding paths, their windows glowing warmly against the winter darkness. Lanterns hung beside wooden doors, casting golden circles of light onto the snow. A frozen stream wound through the center of the village, reflecting the moonlight like polished silver. Everything looked cozy and welcoming. With every step forward, you felt your shoulders relax a little more. The peaceful atmosphere seemed to wash away the noise and worries of everyday life. As you entered the village square, you noticed a small bakery standing on one corner. Though it had closed for the evening, the scent of freshly baked bread still lingered in the air. Nearby stood a charming little bookstore with snow resting on its roof and window ledges. Through the frosted glass, rows of books could be seen stretching from floor to ceiling. Across the square stood an old stone clock tower. Its face glowed softly beneath the stars, marking the passing hours with quiet dignity. Here time seemed to move more slowly, allowing everyone to enjoy each peaceful moment. You continued wandering through the narrow pathways lined with cottages. Warm light spilled from windows onto the snow below, creating beautiful golden reflections. Somewhere inside, families sat beside fireplaces, enjoying quiet conversations before bed. Their voices were distant and gentle, softened by the thick blanket of snow covering the village. Everything felt safe. Everything felt calm. Even the cold winter air seemed comforting as you breathed it in slowly. Eventually, you reached the frozen stream that flowed through the village. During the warmer months, clear water danced happily over smooth stones, but now the stream rested beneath a layer of sparkling ice. Moonlight shimmered across its surface, creating patterns of silver light that seemed to move with every snowflake that landed. Standing there, you looked up toward the sky and found yourself surrounded by countless stars. The moon hung peacefully above the snowy hills, bathing the landscape in soft blue light. The beauty of the scene was almost impossible to describe. Following the stream, you came to a small wooden bridge covered with fresh snow. Its railings looked as though they had been decorated with soft, white pillows. As you stepped onto the bridge, the wood creaked gently beneath your feet. Below, the frozen stream sparkled beneath the moonlight. Around you, snowflakes continued drifting down from the sky, moving slowly and gracefully through the still night air. The world seemed perfectly balanced. Nothing rushed, nothing demanded attention. There was only peace. Beyond the bridge stood a cozy cottage surrounded by snow-covered pine trees. Warm golden light glowed through its windows, and a thin stream of smoke drifted from its chimney into the night sky. A lantern beside the front door illuminated the snow below, creating a welcoming glow. Nearby, a wooden bench rested beneath a large pine tree, whose branches bowed gently beneath the weight of fresh snow. The entire scene felt like a painting brought to life. You sat quietly on the bench and listened to the sounds of winter. There was no music and no conversation, only the gentle whisper of wind moving through the pine trees, the distant crackling of fireplaces, and the soft sound of snowflakes settling upon the ground. Together, these sounds created a peaceful melody. It was a lullaby, written by winter itself, a song that encouraged rest and invited sleep. As the evening grew deeper, more lights began turning off throughout the village. Families settled into bed, curtains closed across glowing windows, and the pathways became empty. One by one, the cottages grew quiet until the entire village seemed asleep. Only a few lanterns continued glowing softly beside doorways and along snowy paths. Their warm golden light reflected beautifully upon the snow, creating a magical contrast against the cool silver light of the moon. The snowy village remained still beneath the stars. The clock tower continued its silent watch over the sleeping cottages. The frozen stream sparkled quietly beneath the moonlight. Snowflakes drifted gently from the sky, covering the world in a blanket of peace. As you sat there breathing slowly, you felt every worry drifting farther away. The quiet winter night wrapped around you like a warm blanket, and little by little the peaceful, snowy village guided you toward deep rest and gentle dreams. A Peaceful, Snowy Village, Part 2. The peaceful snowy village came alive as the morning sun rose higher in the sky. Its golden rays reflected on the fresh snow, making the entire landscape sparkle like countless tiny diamonds. The villagers began their daily routines with cheerful smiles and warm greetings. Some people carefully cleared the snow from their doorsteps, while others walked toward the village market carrying baskets filled with goods. The crisp winter air was cold, yet the atmosphere felt warm because of the strong sense of community that connected everyone in the village. At the center of the village stood a small market square, which became the busiest place each day. Farmers brought fresh vegetables that had been stored from the harvest season, while bakers displayed delicious loaves of bread and sweet pastries. The aroma of freshly baked food drifted through the air, attracting villagers from every corner. People gathered not only to buy and sell goods, but also to share stories, exchange news, and enjoy each other's company. Laughter and friendly conversations filled the square, creating a lively contrast to the quiet, snow-covered surroundings. Children considered winter the most exciting season of the year. After finishing their lessons at the village school, they rushed outside to play in the snow. Some built giant snow forts, while others organized friendly snowball competitions. Their joyful laughter echoed through the village streets and across the frozen fields. Parents watched proudly from nearby windows, happy to see their children enjoying the simple pleasures of winter. The snow seemed to transform the entire village into a giant playground filled with endless opportunities for adventure. The village school itself was a charming wooden building with large windows and a steep roof designed to prevent heavy snow from accumulating. Inside, a warm fire burned in a stone fireplace, keeping the classrooms comfortable despite the freezing temperatures outside. The teacher encouraged students to learn about nature, history, and the traditions of their community. During the winter months, lessons often included stories about past winters, local legends, and the importance of helping one another during difficult weather conditions. These teachings strengthened the bond between the younger generation and the village's rich cultural heritage. As the day progressed, villagers worked diligently to maintain their homes and businesses. Carpenters repaired wooden fences damaged by storms, while craftsmen created beautiful handmade items such as carved ornaments and woven blankets. Many families spent their afternoons preparing food for the colder days ahead. Large pots of soup simmered on stoves and jars of preserved fruits lined kitchen shelves. The spirit of cooperation was visible everywhere, as neighbors frequently helped one another with tasks that were difficult to complete alone. A Peaceful Snowy Village, Part 3. As winter continued, the snowy village remained a place of beauty, peace, and happiness. One morning, fresh snow fell gently from the sky, covering the roads, trees, and rooftops with a new layer of white. The village looked even more magical than before. The snowflakes drifted slowly through the air, and everything seemed calm and silent. The villagers woke up to this beautiful scene and admired the winter wonderland outside their windows. The farmers, although unable to grow crops during the cold season, stayed busy taking care of their animals. In warm wooden barns, cows, sheep, and horses rested comfortably. The farmers made sure they had enough food and clean water. Every day they checked on the animals and protected them from the freezing weather. Their hard work ensured that life in the village continued smoothly throughout the winter months. Near the edge of the village lived an elderly man named Mr. Thomas. He was known for telling wonderful stories about the village's history. Every evening, children gathered around him to listen to his tales. He spoke about ancient winters, brave villagers, and magical legends that had been passed down through generations. The children listened carefully, their eyes filled with curiosity and excitement. His stories brought the community closer together and helped preserve the traditions of the village. One afternoon, the village bell rang loudly from the small church in the center of town. It was a signal that a community gathering would take place that evening. The villagers eagerly prepared for the event, Families baked cakes, cookies and pies to share with their neighbors. Others decorated the community hall with evergreen branches, lanterns and handmade ornaments. Everyone wanted to contribute something to make the gathering special. As darkness fell, the villagers arrived at the hall carrying warm dishes and cheerful smiles. The room quickly filled with laughter, music, and the delicious smell of homemade food. People shared stories, sang traditional songs, and enjoyed each other's company. Children played games while adults exchanged news and memories. The gathering reminded everyone of the importance of friendship, kindness, and community spirit. Outside, snow continued to fall softly, covering the village in a blanket of white. Inside the hall, however, warmth and happiness filled every corner. The glowing lanterns created a cozy atmosphere, and the sound of joyful voices echoed through the building. For many villagers, these gatherings were among the most cherished moments of the year. Later that night, after the celebration ended, families returned to their homes under the starry sky. The snow sparkled in the moonlight, making the entire village look like a scene from a fairy tale. The streets were quiet once again, and only the gentle crunch of footsteps could be heard. The peaceful beauty of the winter night reminded everyone why they loved their village so much. Before going to sleep, many villagers looked out their windows one last time. They saw the snow-covered trees, the glowing lights of distant houses, and the calm winter landscape stretching far beyond the village. It was a sight that filled their hearts with gratitude and peace. As they drifted off to sleep, they knew another beautiful winter day awaited them in their beloved snowy village. The Secret Lantern Forest, Sleep Story, Part 1. Tonight, you are about to enter a place that very few people have ever seen. Far beyond the busy towns and winding roads hidden behind rolling hills and quiet meadows, there is a mysterious forest known as the Secret Lantern Forest. It is a place of peace, a place of gentle light, a place where time seems to move slowly. As the sun disappears below the horizon, you begin walking along a narrow path that leads towards the forest. The evening air is cool and comfortable. A gentle breeze moves through the grass beside the trail. Above you, the sky slowly changes from blue to deep shades of purple and silver. The first stars begin to appear. They shine softly in the distance. Soon, you reach the edge of the forest. Tall trees rise around you like silent guardians. Their branches stretch high into the night sky. The leaves rustle gently in the wind. Everything feels calm. Everything feels safe. As you take your first step into the forest, something catches your eye. A small lantern hangs from a nearby branch. Its golden light glows softly in the darkness. Then you notice another lantern farther ahead, and another, and another. Hundreds of lanterns hang throughout the forest. Each one shines with a warm and peaceful glow. The lights sway gently with the breeze. Together they create a magical pathway through the trees. You continue walking slowly. There is no rush. The lanterns guide your way. The forest floor is covered with soft moss. Your footsteps make almost no sound. The air smells fresh and clean. Somewhere nearby, a small stream flows quietly through the woods. Its gentle sound blends perfectly with the whispering leaves. The deeper you walk into the forest, the more lanterns appear. Some are round and golden, others are shaped like tiny stars. A few glow with soft silver light. Each lantern seems unique. Each one feels special. You begin to wonder who placed them here. But somehow, the question doesn't feel important. The forest itself seems content to keep its secrets. And tonight, you are simply a peaceful visitor, a quiet traveler, a gentle observer. Soon, you arrive at a small clearing. In the center stands an ancient tree. Its trunk is wide and strong, its branches spread across the sky like a giant umbrella. Thousands of tiny lanterns hang from its limbs. Their lights shimmer like stars. The sight is breathtaking. You sit beneath the tree and look upward. The lanterns sway softly overhead. Golden light dances across the leaves. The forest feels warm despite the cool night air. A sense of calm settles around you. You take a slow breath, then another. The sounds of the world seem far away now. Only the lanterns remain. Their peaceful glow fills the clearing. Their gentle light surrounds you. The night grows quieter. The breeze grows softer. And little by little, your thoughts begin to drift like clouds across a calm sky. The secret lantern forest watches peacefully around you. The ancient tree stands silently nearby. The lanterns continue their slow dance in the night air, and somewhere in the distance, a tiny bell rings softly once. Then silence returns, calm, gentle, peaceful. The Secret Lantern Forest, Sleep Story, Part 2. As you rest beneath the ancient lantern tree, the forest remains quiet and peaceful around you. The lanterns continue to sway gently above your head. Their warm golden light dances softly across the leaves. A cool breeze moves through the branches, creating a gentle whisper that seems to travel throughout the entire forest. You sit quietly for a few moments, enjoying the calm. There is nothing to do, nothing to worry about, only the peaceful forest around you. Soon, you notice another lantern path leading away from the clearing. The lights glow softly between the trees. Curious, you stand and begin walking once again. The path is smooth and easy to follow. The forest floor is covered with soft moss and fallen leaves. Each step feels light and comfortable. The lanterns guide you deeper into the woods. As you continue your journey, you begin to hear the sound of water nearby. At first, it is only a faint sound, but slowly it becomes clearer, gentle, relaxing, like a quiet melody carried by the wind. Soon the trees begin to open. Ahead, you discover a beautiful crystal pond. The water is perfectly still. The lanterns hanging from nearby branches reflect upon its surface like hundreds of tiny stars. Moonlight shines across the pond, creating silver patterns that slowly move across the water. The scene feels magical, almost dreamlike. You walk to the edge of the pond and sit beside it. The water remains calm and peaceful. Occasionally a small ripple spreads across the surface. The reflections shimmer gently before becoming still once again. You watch quietly. The soft glow of the lanterns reflects in your eyes. Everything feels calm. Everything feels safe. After some time, tiny lights begin to appear among the trees. At first, you think they are lanterns, but soon you realize they are fireflies. Hundreds of tiny fireflies drift through the forest. Their soft lights float slowly through the darkness. Golden lights above, golden lights below. The entire forest seems to sparkle. The fireflies move gracefully around the pond. Some settle on nearby flowers. Others drift lazily through the air. Together, they create a peaceful dance of light. You continue watching. The gentle movement feels relaxing, almost hypnotic. The night grows deeper, the stars shine brighter overhead. The lanterns continue their slow dance in the breeze. Eventually, you leave the pond and continue along the glowing path. The forest remains quiet. The lanterns guide you gently forward. After a short walk, you discover a small wooden bridge crossing a narrow stream. Water flows softly beneath it. The sound is calm and soothing. You stop in the middle of the bridge and look down. Moonlight reflects upon the moving water. Tiny lantern reflections drift along the surface. The stream carries them slowly into the darkness beyond. For a moment, everything feels perfectly peaceful. The forest seems to breathe slowly around you. The trees stand quietly. The lanterns glow warmly. The water flows gently beneath the bridge. You close your eyes for a moment and listen. The stream, the breeze, the distant rustle of leaves. Each sound helps your mind become quieter. Your thoughts drift away like leaves floating upon the water, slowly, peacefully, comfortably. When you open your eyes again, the lantern path continues beyond a bridge. It disappears into the softly glowing forest. You follow it at an easy pace. The night is calm, the air is cool, the lanterns shine like friendly stars among the trees. And as you walk deeper into the secret lantern forest, a wonderful feeling of peace travels with you. The journey continues. The forest remains gentle, and somewhere ahead, new wonders quietly wait beneath the lantern light. The Secret Lantern Forest, Sleep Story, Part 3. The lantern path continued quietly through the forest, winding between ancient trees that had stood there for centuries. Their tall trunks reached high into the night sky, and their branches stretched gracefully overhead, creating a natural canopy above the glowing pathway. Golden lanterns hung from the branches, swaying gently in the cool evening breeze. Their warm light illuminated the path ahead, making every step feel peaceful and safe. As you walked deeper into the forest, the sounds of the outside world seemed to fade away completely. There were no busy roads, no loud voices, and no distractions. There was only the soft rustling of leaves, the distant song of a night bird, and the comforting glow of the lanterns guiding your journey. The air felt fresh and cool against your skin. Every breath carried the scent of pine trees, wildflowers, and damp earth. The forest seemed alive in a quiet and gentle way. Tiny glowing flowers grew beside the path, their petals shining faintly in shades of silver and blue. Small fireflies drifted lazily through the air, adding even more light to the magical surroundings. Everything moved slowly here. Nothing seemed rushed. Even time itself felt softer, as though the forest encouraged every traveler to relax and enjoy the present moment. After walking for some time, the path began to climb a gentle hill. Soft silver grass covered the hillside, moving like waves whenever the breeze passed through it. The lanterns continued all the way to the top, creating a glowing trail of golden lights against the darkness. You followed the path at a comfortable pace, enjoying the peaceful silence around you. When you finally reached the top of the hill, you stopped and looked out across the forest below. The view was breathtaking. Thousands of lanterns glowed among the trees in every direction. From this height, they looked like stars that had fallen from the sky and settled among the branches. Some lights flickered softly, while others remained steady and bright. Together they created a vast ocean of golden light stretching far into the distance. Above, the moon shone brightly, casting a silver glow across the landscape. The combination of moonlight and lantern light made the entire forest appear like something from a beautiful dream. You sat down on the soft grass and watched quietly. The cool breeze carried a feeling of peace that settled gently within your heart. The silver flowers around you shimmered beneath the moonlight, and the forest below remained calm and still. For a long while you simply sat there, breathing slowly and enjoying the beauty of the moment. There was no need to think about tomorrow. There was no need to remember yesterday. Only this peaceful night existed. As you rested on the hill, you noticed something unusual in the distance. Beyond the sea of golden lanterns, a soft silver glow shone among the trees. It was different from the warm lantern light. This glow seemed cooler, calmer, and somehow more mysterious. Curious but completely relaxed, you stood and followed the lantern path toward the silver light. The path led down the other side of the hill and into a quieter part of the forest. Here the trees stood farther apart, allowing more moonlight to reach the ground. The silver glow gradually became brighter as you approached. Soon the trees opened into a hidden meadow unlike anything you had seen before. The meadow stretched wide beneath the stars. Thousands of tiny silver flowers covered the ground, sparkling softly in the moonlight. Their petals reflected the light like tiny mirrors, making the entire meadow shimmer gently. In the center stood a magnificent tree. Its trunk was smooth and pale, and its branches spread outward like graceful arms reaching toward the sky. Hanging from every branch were beautiful silver lanterns. They glowed with a soft, peaceful light that seemed to flow like liquid moonlight. You slowly walked toward the tree. The closer you came, the more peaceful you felt. The air around the tree seemed calm and still. Even the breeze moved more gently here. Beneath the tree sat a small wooden bench perfectly placed among the silver flowers. You sat down and looked up into the glowing branches above. The silver lanterns swayed gently overhead. Their light danced softly across the meadow, creating moving patterns among the flowers. The sight was calming and beautiful. You watched quietly as the lanterns continued their slow movement in the night air. Each lantern seemed to hold its own tiny piece of moonlight. As the night deepened, small silver butterflies began to appear among the flowers. Their wings sparkled softly as they floated through the meadow. Some landed on nearby blossoms, while others drifted lazily through the air. They moved so slowly and gracefully that watching them felt almost like watching a dream. The butterflies seemed completely at home beneath the silver lantern tree.